do this. Oh my word. Hello and welcome back to another video, and hopefully the video quality should be a little bit better today. I've recently upgraded from an Apple iPhone 12 to a Galaxy Z Fold 5, one of those folding phones. The camera is much better than my iPhone, the sound should be better, and also because I can have it kind of opened up, I can monitor what I'm filming at the same time, so that should be really good. But what I've got here is a 1980s Tomy Mr. DJ. You know, as a lot of people know, Tomy had a load of different robots out in the 80s. The Omnibot was one that I did previously, although I just demoed it. I didn't repair it on camera. And this one's one where it kind of mouths to the radio. It blinks its eyes, it moves its arms, and it rocks. It looks really cool. It was spares and repairs on eBay, so I'll put the listing up here. And this is the first time I'm going to open it, so you're going to see it as I see it. Things I noticed on the advert were that it was missing its microphone that goes down from his head. It was missing a hand, and I think there was maybe something missing in the battery bay as well. So it was, like I say, it was spares and repairs. But even so, if we can get it working, maybe I can pick up some spare parts, a hand, a mic, or a different head off one that's really badly damaged in the future, and make it into a whole one. Right, so here's our robot. Right, so because I just kind of fairly quickly bought it, I thought that this was just open, demonstrating that there was potentially bits missing, but in fact it looks like the bottom of our robot is missing it, which is always a shame. You have to put like tape or something over it, but it is what it is. As you can see, he's missing a hand here. I wonder if someone could 3D print one of those. And the microphone there has snapped off as well, so it's missing its mic, its hand. It does have the aerial, and yeah, it's a shame it's missing that base, but it is what it is. Other than that, not too bad at all. So as you can see, it's got Mr. DJ by Tomy. There would be a date on the bottom. I would sometime in the 80s. I couldn't find an exact date. So what I'll do is we'll pop some batteries in. It's well, it looks like 2 C-cell batteries and a 9-volt. So bear with me. I'm going to go and grab those. There we go. I presume it's some for the movement and some for the radio, because the other one, like whatever it was, the Omnibot I did, that only needed like 2 or 3 AA's. Alright, so let's see if we get anything out of it. There's certainly some bad corrosion on this one, but maybe we can get at least the radio first. No, there's nothing there. So first thing we'll do is we will just clean up these contacts here and see if that helps us. What I'll do is, it looks it's a little heavy there, so I'll probably need a little bit more than IPA. So I'll use my brush set. It's just one of these, has different types of brushes on, as you can see, glass, brass and steel. So I'll go for kind of a steel, which is a middle one. Because of the angle, it's quite hard to get in, so I've got some of that surface stuff off, and then I'm going to use the IPA now just to clean up a little bit more, and then after that, if we don't get anything, we'll have a look inside. When they're like this, usually it's like at the same time the wire on the inside has often dropped off as well. Oh, see there? Hear that crackling? And his mouth's moving. Look at his mouth there. So let's get the aerial up. So that's good. So what you can see, a little clean up there. We've now brought it back, at least back to life. We've got the radio and his mouth was moving, but we haven't got the eyes moving, and his arms aren't moving, and he isn't rocking either, which makes me think that there's probably a loose wire or something inside. So what we'll do is we are now going to need to get inside, and if it's anything like, I keep saying Omnibot. I'm sure it was Omnibot. But it had different names. Then you generally pop these sides off to find some screws. So I'm going to get a pry tool out and see if I can get these off. Look, there's a crack there. I wonder if someone's tried to get in there previously. And that's going to be what makes him dance. These are going to pop out. So I have some of these. I also have some metal ones, but I'll use these plastic pry tools. Could be a little thick. Okay, yeah, there's a screw there. So I think this, there, and there's a screw there, isn't there? Right, so we've got screws here, and that's going to let us take the body apart. So let's try and get the other one off. Seems a lot tighter, this one. There we go. Just a normal Phillips head screwdriver. Haven't used this one for a while. Right, so this should now be us getting in. Yeah. So the front comes off like so. The rear section, it's going to have some wires attached. See, the arms just fall off like that. So look, yeah, there's cogs there. So we know that they're going to move forwards and backwards. Obviously, we need a new hand at some point. Okay, I've just been having a struggle with it off camera, and then I figured it out. It was the aerial. So what I did was this was in here, and I unscrewed it, and then as soon as I unscrewed it, everything came open, because obviously that was kind of sat, I guess, on here, and that's what was stopping it opening. So yeah, aerial out. So it should have been super simple, and if you watch this video, it will be super simple. Sides off, 4 screws, make sure you unscrew the aerial, and then your front and back sections come off. So we're into the insides now. I'm just being super careful with these really thin cables, these thin wires. This switch down here for the line in and out looks a little dubious. We've got our that's our power on and off, our other switch for FM and AM. So I guess what we have to try and do is work out where, when we apply power, where it's getting to, which is going to be quite tricky with this section on here. Not too sure how to get this part out to have a look at that section. So it's all kind of gears in there. There we go. We're kind of committed now. Those really thin wires are worrying me though, that's for sure. If we move them here, hopefully there's enough room to do this. Oh my word. Right, let's just try. And this is crazy now. Yeah, I'll try putting some power into the motor. Yeah, so the motor's working, so we should be hearing that. So we have to now work out where that motor is being fed from. What is this? What's getting in our way here? So we've got the 9-volt power coming out of there. We know then that the motor works, and it's part of this switch which is saying to do the movement or not. So I wonder if is it something to do with the switch, or is it something to do with power? So it's coming from there and in there. That's right down in the gut. So the 9-volt feeds a switch that goes to the motor. The other 9-volt heads up there somewhere. So let's just see what power we're getting. So look there, we're getting 3 volts, which is exactly what we would expect. And then what are we getting at the motor? So do we need something? There's 3 volts, but it's not being triggered. What would trigger you? So I'm currently just doing some continuity testing to the motor. At first I thought maybe this wire wasn't on, but then when I worked my way back it is. So I'm getting connection there. Same for getting connection here for the positive. So power to it, because I'm wondering why aren't I getting power? And then I'm getting it from here to here, but then I'm not getting it out of there, even when this is supposed to be in the on position, and there's a small amount of rust there. So I think what I'm going to do is just open up this switch and see if maybe something's happened inside there which is stopping the motion. But I mean, putting it back together after this is going to be a nightmare. But let's have a look. It seems a fairly simple switch to open. All of it, when you've got toys of this age, you just find that like the cables are literally hanging on by a thread, and as you're going around you just start, it gets worse and worse because they all start falling off, and then for me I just don't have the time to finish them when they start doing that. Okay, so there's that. So I'm wondering, like, for instance, if you just bridge that connection, like what would, so if you had there, look, it's barely turning. So I think there's corrosion inside this switch, which, you know, you can, having looked at my screen, you can't really see. So it's this one here that was inside the switch on the rear. What I'm going to do on this is use my tweezers. Really thick oxidization on this. That's much better. Clean up in here. Right, so we found our first problem, which was there's some really bad oxidization inside this switch at the back, which controls motion. So what I think we were getting was the kind of induction going up to the mouth and moving that, but nothing else. Having opened that up and cleaned it out, you can now see when I turn it, the motor now spins, and I wonder if that just turns all the time. So as best as we can, I mean, it's going to be nigh on impossible. What I'll try and do right now is put it all back together, but you know, there's bits everywhere. There's bits everywhere here. I've no idea where they go, so we'll give it a go. Right, welcome back. I've just had some food. It's always good sometimes just to go away and then come back to things. And I came back and I've just been working on it to one side. So I'm going to try and zoom you in a little bit on what I'm doing. So what I did was I actually took all the bits out of here and then rebuilt it over here. So what you can see, and this is for anyone who might, you know, be wanting to fix one of these in the future, is the way it works is you have your motor here with this little piece on the end that holds another set of 2 gears. They turn these gears here, which are for these bits here, so basically moving the legs. And then this extra cog then rotates this cylinder, and in the cylinder it has these bumps here, and then it also has this groove in the middle. And what's happening is there's a little peg at the top here, and as that rotates, the peg is moving left and right, which then moves the head left and right, and then the little bumps are basically, they line up with this section here, so this is in here as well, like so. So when we turn it on, what's happening is you can see this cog down here is turning these two. I'm having to hold it in place just at the minute, and then it's rotating this cylinder around that's moving that bit there, you see. Right, so what we'll do now is try and put all this back together. And somehow I need to get that back on. I think we're getting there, right? That's right. Usually I give that a wash and a clean before I put it all back together, but you can see everything's just so precarious right now. Just want to try and get it back together. Let's get the rest of the screws in, then put the aerial in, or keep our collective fingers crossed that he then mouths to whatever we get on the radio. Okay, moment of truth. Aerial up. We're in FM.
Catfish and the Bottlemen back after 5 years. New one called Showtime on Radio 1. Catfish, where have you been? But good to have you back.
Brilliant. So we can see it's now actually moving its mouth to words as well. I'm going to pop these two on. I'm going to clean it all up, and then you'll get a jump cut and I'll be back with you. Okay, so here he is. I've just given him a bit of a light clean up. As I mentioned earlier, I would have preferred to kind of clean it all as I went along, but sometimes when things are a bit precarious and you're not sure if you're going to be able to fix them or not, it's just better to kind of get the mechanical fix done and then do the cleaning after. So he's just had a light clean, just to bring a bit of the colour back, and then I've just put a little bit of black tape just on the bottom. You don't actually need it, but a bit of black tape just on the bottom to hold the batteries in. So what I'll demonstrate to you now is a couple of things. So firstly, with his aerial up, you can literally put it into you can turn the radio on, and without the movement, he will, if you get a good, it works better when there's clearer audio, but he will now open and close his mouth to the radio. So we'll turn it on. I don't want to get a copyright strike, so we'll see what else is on, but how funny is that? Let me see if I can get a bit slightly better light. There we go. Let's see what else we've got going on. So you can see there's obviously some kind of induction going on into something in here that's allowing that to move, and then in conjunction with that you can also have the motion. So what you'll get is the eyes blinking, the mouth will be moving if there's stuff if there's audio. His arms will move, and then you've got those two little kind of pistons that'll which makes him rock and roll. But lots of movement going on, which is fantastic. And you can either have the movement on its own or with the radio. So I'll just put the movement on for now, and that's just using this lower button here. So I'll turn him on. So that rocking, the arms are now moving. You can see the eyes blinking. Quite a noisy mechanism, but it's actually really good, and you can see why it uses two C-cell batteries as well. I'd finished the video and I thought, you know what, I haven't tried the line in, and then you know, this day and age, like, oh, what have I got with the line out? So I grabbed my mini disc player. It's got the Stone Roses on, and yeah, anyway, you'll see that it works. So that brings us to the end of the video. It was the Tomy Mr. DJ, released in the 80s along with a number of their other ones. It was spares and repairs. He still needs a microphone and a hand, but nothing working to start with. I cleaned up some of the contacts. That got us the radio working, but that was that, and the mouth that works with the radio. And then I had to go all the way inside. It actually turned out to be a really corroded, well, not corroded, an oxidized switch. So inside the switch had gone, so you couldn't activate the motion. But to get there, I had to strip it all the way down, get to the motor, and that allowed me to do some fault finding all the way back from the positive and negative, and identify that that was the faulty area, and then I was able to fix it. But a really great item. Really enjoyed doing it. At one point, honestly, I didn't think I was, when I opened the back and all those cogs are in there, I didn't think this was going to be a good one. I thought it was going to be a fail. So you know, I did this because I've basically been working on other projects, and I thought you guys would enjoy a fix attempt. So if you did enjoy it, please like, subscribe, comment and share as well if you like, but the support really helps me out. And until the next one, all the best, take care and see you.